Welcome back, fellow rovers. Today, we're diving into a piece of Wuthering Waves history that many new players might not know about, the concertoeffects. This system was Wuthering Waves' take on elemental reaction. Much like what you've seen in Genshin Impact, it brought unique strategies to gameplay, but was surprisingly removed before the launch of the final closed beta test. Replaced by the intro and outro skills, it makes me wonder, what did we really lose with the removal of elemental reaction? Let's dig into what these changes meant for the game. Before we dive deeper, I need to mention that I haven't personally played any of the past beta tests of Wuthering Waves, but don't worry, I've thoroughly researched all available sources to bring you the most accurate and comprehensive look at how the concertoeffects once played a pivotal role in the game. Despite my research, there might be nuances I could have missed, so I encourage everyone to jump into the comments with any insights or corrections you might find. And for those who want to dig deeper, I've linked all of my sources in the description below. Let's start with the basics, shall we? As I mentioned before, concertoeffects are elemental reactions that characters can perform after certain combat requirements were met. Unlike in Genshin Impact, where you can spam your abilities with not much thought, Wuthering Waves required you to earn them. Each character had an elemental bar meter beside their HP bar, which you needed to fill by performing basic attacks, parrying, using skills, or casting your Resonance Liberation. Once the meter was full, you could apply the respective element to your active character and switch to another character to trigger the reaction. The types of reactions varied depending on the CBT version, but here are a few examples. Mixing Fusion and Glacial triggered the hot and cold of concertoeffect, dealing massive damage, essentially Wuthering Waves' version of Genshin Impact's melt reaction. Another example is Frostbite, where combining Glacial and Havoc elements would reduce the enemy's glacial resistance by 30% for 10 seconds, similar to the Iridescent Veneer side effect in Genshin Impact. These reactions added a strategic layer to combat, requiring players to plan their moves and character switches carefully. Now, these types of reactions evolved significantly throughout the CBTs, shifting more focus towards combat-based buffs. Players were introduced to reactions that enhance specific moves when triggered. For instance, combining aerial with fusion would boost your normal and heavy attack damage by 40%. If you were aiming for ultimate damage focused team, mixing conductor with aerial was the way to go. One particularly unique concertoeffect introduced was Substance. By creating a reaction with a Spectre character, it generated a field that slowed down every enemy's movement inside of it for a few seconds. This new combat-based reactions really set themselves apart from Genshin Impact's system. Though more complex, they rewarded players based on their character's performance. So, how did the Wuthering Waves community react to these new elemental reaction systems? Well, I wanted to get more first-hand insights from players who experienced the CBTs. So, I reached out to several Wuthering Waves content creators with a list of questions about the concertoeffects. To be honest, I was very skeptical about getting any response at all, but to my surprise, Steparu, a well-known content creator with over 200k subscribers, took the time to answer my questions. A huge thanks to Steparu for helping me shed light on this topic. Make sure to check out his channel for more in-depth Wuthering Waves content. Now, let's dive into what Steparu had to say about the concertoeffects and how these changes were received by the community. Here's what Steparu had to say about the concertoeffect and the introduction of intro and outro skills. Question 1. Did you like the concertoeffects? Yes, no, and why? Steparu: I thought it was nice. A lot of people said it was similar or a copy of Genshin. Question 2. Did you feel that the concertoeffects were more balanced in terms of combat versus the elemental reactions in Genshin Impact? Steparu: I don't know about balance, but it seems way too complicated and will require more detail crafting. Question 3. If you can change anything from the concertoeffect system, what would it be? Steparu: not sure, but I didn't really pay attention to it much. Felt like it was just there for extra benefits. Question 4. Do you like the intro and outro system? Yes, no, and why? Steparu: I like the intro and outro system because it makes the team building much more easier and casual. A lot of players for this genre especially would like to play a game at an easier and more understanding pace. Question 5. If you have to choose, which system do you prefer more? Steparu: intro, outro system is great. Question 6. Will you be okay if they ever introduce the concertoeffects again while also keeping the intro and outro skills? Steparu: I'd rather they keep the intro and outro skill. It makes the game more unique in their own way, doesn't it? Steparu's insight provide a valuable perspective on the evolution of this game's mechanics. It seems that while the concertoeffects were innovative, they may have been too complex and reminiscent of Genshin Impact for some players. On the other hand, the intro and outro skills were appreciated for simplifying team building and making the game more accessible. Now, from my perspective, I understand why some players might have found the concerted effects complex. However, I believe that complexity can add richness to gameplay. The strategic planning required to execute these reactions could have provided a more rewarding experience for players who enjoy mastering different systems. While the intro and outro skills offer a more straightforward approach, they might lack the complexity that the concerted effects brought to the table. Balancing accessibility with complexity is always a challenge in game design, but I think there's room for both systems to coexist and cater to different players' preferences. Consider Morphetis, for example, who is basically the Wuthering Waves equivalent of Shinshu from Genshin Impact. Shinshu's strength lies in his ability to consistently apply Hydra with his ultimate, allowing other characters to trigger powerful reactions like Vaporize. With the removal of reactions in Wuthering Waves, especially those similar to Genshin's, Morphetis' utility and overall team damage potential has been significantly reduced. Morphetis' Resonance Liberation, when paired with a Glacial character, could trigger the hot and cold concerted effect while being off-field, greatly boosting the team DPS output. This change impacts not just Morphetis, but potentially other current and future characters as well. Now, I do also understand the notion of that if the concerted effects had been retained, it might have pushed the player base to build specific teams optimized for these high damage reactions, potentially chasing the meta, which many people don't want. However, I believe that players shouldn't feel pressured to build certain teams just to be specific type of content. Players should be able to build whatever team they want when they see fit and enjoy playing the game in their own way, whether it's utilizing the reactions, leverage intro and outro skills, or simply brute forcing through the endgame content with pure skill. And that's what should really matter ultimately, playing the game to have fun. So, what do you guys think? Do you prefer complexity and strategic depth of concerted effects, or the straightforward, user-friendly approach of intro and outro skills? Let me know in the comments below. And with this, I conclude my video. This is my second time making a quality type video, and honestly, I had a lot of fun creating it. If you enjoyed this type of content and want to see more videos like this in the future, please let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, don't forget to drop a like. And if you want to stay updated with my latest content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and your support will really mean a lot to me. That's all for today, Rovers. See you guys next time. Peace.